The Gridiron is sponsored by Rothman Orthopedic.
Welcome to this week's edition of The Gridiron, sponsored by Rothman Orthopedics. I'm your host, John Brown, with the head coach, Chad Brubaker. Springford traveled to Methacton, defeated them 35-0, improving their pack record to 2-0, 4-2 overall. Coach had to been happy with the effort, and, the big thing I thought about the game is you finally got to some balance. You threw for some yards, you ran through some yards a little bit in the game out there. The total yards at the end of the game ended up, and that's something you've been talking about on the show here. You've been striving for.
Yeah, we did it the week before a little bit too.
Yeah, I felt like that was a run. Like you were running the ball against Norris,
Yeah.
and those stats dominated.
Yeah, that's what we strive for. Like, you know what? We're gonna take what the defense gives. That's kind of like the mantra, I
Okay.
would say. So, if someone comes up and plays us in straight man, and we talked about how Armante's finally healthy, and that makes a big difference in what we're trying to do. But ultimately, we're going to try to take what the defense gives us or what is there. And for most of the night, we were taking little throws, and we were taking runs here and there. So it was kind of balanced.
So Methacton, like we said, it was an improved football team, but it seemed like their injury bug's really getting them at this stage too.
Yeah.
And that's something obviously you're going to try and capitalize on, especially with you got the shutout from the defense not allowing any points too.
Yeah, defensively, we did a great job. They are banged up a little bit, but they're well coached. They played hard the whole game, and they do some nice things. But I think they, Coach would say that, he said they're a little outmanned, and he does a good job. So ultimately, our defense did what they were asked to do. I don't think we got a turnover. I'm drawing a blank right now, but other than that, we forced a couple. I actually think they didn't. Well, the one they did call fake punt, and we stopped it. The other, I don't think they called, but the punter felt like we were going to block it and took off and got the first down. So that one counts as a turnover for us too.
Talk about your schedule here a little bit. I know you traveled that last week. You're going to travel again this week. You're going to make the trip to Boardtown. 2 road weeks in a row. Is that difficult? Usually, I felt like high school football, you just go back and forth between home and away, home and away. You all right with going on the road 2 times in a row here too?
Yeah, Boyertown scheduled us for homecoming.
Okay.
And so we're going to go over there and try to get a win in front of their crowd, and it's fine.
All right.
Going on the road, sometimes that's not a bad thing, just to try to get away. and
Especially with the week we have coming up the following week, the homecoming week, go focus on what we need to do this week.
Yeah. Which is a lot.
Okay.
But it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
All right. Let's show the offensive highlights from the game. Let's keep going.
Offensive highlights are sponsored by Euro Motor Cars of Devon.
I don't know what order I put these in, Coach, but
Well, that's all right, Coach. It's early morning here. There's a big run here by Hayes, looks like.
yeah, Armante got caught there a little bit.
Ooh.
Got hawked. I give him a hard time about that. We were having some trouble with our end zone camera in the first half. This is a touchdown catch.
So longest play of the night, I felt like the longest pass play of the night right here, Benani, right?
Yeah, it was.
There's
Yep.
so almost a hair behind Dante too a little bit, and he kind of came back for the ball there.
Yeah, it was. Coach, was this a touchdown?
Oh, well, I don't know. He got trucked there in the end zone.
I think BJ got robbed there. The pylon was.
You knew the
hit.
NFL Sunday Countdown pylon cam.
This was actually our first touchdown right here. Ryan Engro does a nice job. Again, we say this a lot. And this was the second one.
Keep it.
We need Ryan to pull the ball. We need him to pull the ball and, take that opportunity when it arises. Here's Armante diving in the end zone. Here's Josh Hellauer with his first ever catch, first ever touchdown, a 1-yarder.
There you are, kind of that full house backfield you guys do a little bit there too, right? Especially when you get down on the goal line, and out of that little play action and throw the ball out of it.
Yeah, when someone packs a box like that, we like to play action on the goal line if we get an opportunity. And the previous play, they had done a nice job. Armonte saw a crack backside, and then they closed it real quickly. So we went with play action.
All right, Coach. Well, we're off and running here. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back, all right?
All right.
All right, stay tuned through this commercial break, and we'll do the defensive highlights for Springford Methacton.
Operation Wonder Park is a go!
There's nothing more powerful than imagination.
Honey, have you seen my cell phone?
But don't just imagine.
My park came to life?
Ooh, a plot twist.
Use STEM to build, create,
She did it.
and change the world.
Who's with me?
I'm more of a 2 feet on the ground kind of guy.
It's gonna hurt tomorrow.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Gridiron, sponsored by Rothman Orthopedics. I'm your host, John Brown, with the head coach, Chad Brubaker. Coach, you know, we kind of talk about this time right here where we do some announcements about what's going on. But before we talk Springford announcements, let's talk a little District 1, because you can go on the District 1 website. You can find out some rankings, where we are, like if the playoffs started today, and I think we're in the field if it did start today, right?
Yeah, we're 14th.
14 in the
with
field.
2 losses, we're at 14. PV and
O&J would be in
also in. OJ's 5-1, and they're a little above both us and Perk Valley. So there's a lot of football to be played yet, and not only for us, but for all the teams. There's a lot of not a lot. There's more undefeated teams, I think, than in a normal year, and those teams have yet to. Some of them play each other,
Okay.
and some of that will work its way out. But yeah, there's a lot of football to be played.
Talk about football we played. A little maybe changing of the guard this year in the other division. Pope John Paul.
Why did you bring that up? Like, why
We
do you
talk-
bring that up?
We're talking to football shows, and
yay! Pope John Paul, yay!
good win for them over the
Yeah,
Grove.
great.
All right, so
Great.
we're not worried about the other side.
No.
Worried about Boyertown.
We're worried about Boyertown.
All right. So back on any other announcements? Any Springford football announcements you got going on?
No, just homecoming coming up. I mean,
Are we doing some SF gear for the next week, or we're waiting for?
maybe.
Okay.
That might be a surprise for the winner of the class contest at the pep rally.
Yeah.
We might
Okay.
have some
Okay.
departing gift
All
for
right.
the winners.
We'll talk more next week about what's your favorite of the Spirit Days. You know, like I'm prepping you right now. Start thinking about that question.
You're still recovering. I know it's not homecoming week, but you're still recovering from the other year when I beat you in the 3-point contest.
I don't remember that. I remember me winning the
Whoa,
3-point.
whoa,
I remember
whoa.
me winning the 3-point
last
contest
year.
last year. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wasn't in it.
Well, I think that's my time to end. You know, you leave on a
Right on a high
championship
note.
right there, just never go back to shooting the hoops again.
You're like Seinfeld. I will run no more.
Yeah, exactly. I will shoot the basketball no more. All right, let's get back to the defense. They pitch a shutout for you guys out there, and like you said, the defense has really kind of been the pillar for you guys right now of this team.
Yeah, I tell you what, there's a couple guys that are playing to a Player of the Year level, and that would be James Albert and Blake Terizzi. Both those guys are going to make a strong case if they continue to play the way they're playing. I think that they're doing a great job in terms of film study, knowing what is, probability-wise, knowing what. And our defensive staff does a great job with that, too. They get a report out to the kids every week, and if they're in this, they just run the report and see what comes up.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's sometimes we have, as human nature is to have certain patterns, and you might not even know that you have them. Like, I know that you sit here with your pen and you go like this when I'm talking.
I do,
and
yeah.
You flip your pen like this.
I do, yes.
And so you don't even know that you're doing
I
that,
just-
but I picked up on it over the years. And that's the type of thing we're looking for. So, you know, we've come up with some really good things throughout the year, as have kids. You know, when your kids start to see things on film, like there was a team that we played earlier in the year. Actually, the first team that we played, we picked up something on a quarterback that if his feet were one way, it was a run. If his feet were another way, it was pass. It was run or play action if it was a, and our kid, one of our players picked up on a future opponent, or we already played them, but I'm saying
later in the year
at the time, a similar thing. And you know, when you start picking up on those things, when your kids start picking up on those things, you have a real advantage.
That's pretty good stuff right there. And you've always talked about on the show how important film study is, especially in football. And it can't just be the film study by you guys. The kids have to do the time on their own and actually get something out of it. And you're seeing these kids, and you can almost use them as an example. Like, hey guys, here's two guys here that value film study.
Sure.
They're not only getting better, and a good teaching tool for your younger guys too.
Exactly. We require them to watch a minimum of a half an hour in addition to what we do. So
As
we
a group,
check that every week, and that's the minimum. And that goes for everybody, you know. So that's something that's really important to us. And the guys that are watching 2-3 hours of film, it's not like they're sitting down doing it at once. They're watching 15 here, half hour there. Watching this game for a little bit, then that game. It's a huge advantage.
All right, Coach, good stuff right there. Let's take a look at the defensive highlights from Springford, Methacton.
Defensive highlights are sponsored by Meshock Physical Therapy.
All right, so we put in a new short yardage package that our kids are executing really well. You can see we have Donnie Nicolene and DJ Francis right on the center there. And, you know, we did it a couple times, and they really did a nice job. Yeah, a couple nice solid hits throughout the night. Donnie Nicolene was our player of the defense on Friday, a sophomore defensive tackle. Here's a nice play. Watch 24, James Albert coming up in the hole.
Fill that hole. Ooh.
Didn't block him there, but that's a tribute to the defensive tackles who are, you know, eating up blocks.
Space, yep.
And there's Donnie, almost got it. All right, almost got it. DJ Francis ends up with the sack. And this comes off the screen, but that's Blake Terizzi with his sack. Now, Blake's among, if you go by Max Preps, Blake's among the state leaders in sacks, and he has a bunch of hurries as well. He has really played excellent. So we've gotten a lot of production out of our defensive line, which was a question mark for it. Well, our whole defense was a question mark for us because we replaced the whole secondary. They've gotten progressively better.
And the guys up front are getting more and more experience. They're getting more and more confidence.
We knew what we had with three guys, and then Donnie Nicolene has just done an excellent job. And our linebacker play has gotten much, much better. We knew what we had in James. Like I said earlier in the year, Armonte was dinged up a little bit.
And, it looked like he's playing defense out there too, right? Yeah.
And Johnny Pergine has now, he's no longer a rookie, so he's done a better job. And it wasn't whether he could do it or not. It's a mental thing. You know, it's a lot for a sophomore linebacker or one of those types of positions to learn what to do and to keep focus on what he has to do. Because when the ball snapped and your mind goes blank, you're in trouble. So he's done a really nice job.
All right, awesome stuff there. Let's take one more break here. We got to talk about the next opponent, all right?
All right, let's
All right,
do
make
that.
sure you stay tuned in through this commercial break, and we will preview the game with Boyertown.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that after 75 years, Smokey's only said,
Only you can prevent wildfires.
but I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or windy conditions out there, you gotta be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Hey, Dad. I need your help asking Jessica to prom.
Of course.
Love is like the ocean. You have to tread the
Oh,
waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Hey, Jessica. Will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
Welcome back to the Gridiron, sponsored by Rothman Orthopedic. I'm your host, John Brown, with head coach Chad Brubaker. All right, Coach, we're traveling down to Boyertown here. I guess it's their homecoming.
It
and
is.
They're going to play Friday night.
Yeah.
All right, well, didn't know if they did a Saturday homecoming.
No, we're the only ones that do
We're going to do Saturday homecoming. All right, so they're going to play Friday night. I'm sure it'll be electric atmosphere down there. Talk about Boyertown here.
Yeah, the last time I think we were there was also, second to last time was also homecoming. It was a huge crowd. They've done some things to their stadium. I think they had some issues with their brick and mortar, and they fixed that up.
So now they're ready to go.
Yeah.
What have they been doing this year? They kind of they're up, they're down, they're up, they're down. Kind of seems it seems the way they've been going. This
Yeah.
year.
Well, they are continuing to run their offense, which is basically a veer type offense, and also, but they do some wing tee principle stuff. Not throwing a lot, but they've thrown more than they have in the past couple years. Nice article on their quarterback last week who fought back through a season-ending injury, I think a couple years ago, not last year. Maybe it was a couple years ago.
Okay.
And so they are what they are, and they're going to continue to do it. They want to hold the ball and keep it away from you, and just run the ball down your throat, basically.
And obviously going to be a little bit of something different for your defense to see too. They don't see this
option.
a lot.
We don't see option.
You don't see option. So this is a tough planning prep week here for the defensive staff too,
It
right?
is, yeah. I can judge comfort level based on Coach Mick, and Coach Mick is not comfortable.
He's not
he doesn't
comfortable
like
right
it.
now.
No.
Okay.
So
well, you got till Friday to get this thing ready, rocking and rolling here.
True.
But the hard part is obviously like just doing stuff in practice, because you guys don't do anything like that. Just the defense to see.
Now, that's when Coach Hill and I break it out and bring back our old veer skills.
Okay, and the scout team can figure it out.
Yep. But I tell you, we talked about this before. When you play against an option team, assignments are really, really critical. So you have to know your assignment, and if we switch fronts at any point, your assignment could change. If we have a certain run blitz called, your assignment could change, and you have to know that. Like if I have the quarterback, I've got to take the quarterback, or he's running free down the field.
Down the field. All right, let's take a look at Boyertown on offense.
Highlights are sponsored by Rental World of Limerick.
Got the snazzy white uniforms. Now, see, this is more of a little wing tee stuff, like a belly give. And obviously, Mocha is a really excellent player. He had two or three long returns last year against us.
Once he gets through the line of scrimmage there, you can see some speed too.
One of the fastest. Oh, he's one of the fastest guys in the state, actually, in 6A. He runs track. So, again, they run a belly the other way. This is him again. And again, that was about a step away from being a touchdown. That kid just grabbed onto him at the last second. Right there. And he held on for dear life. But, that was their most successful play, as you could see, against OJ in terms of the running game. They just kept running that little belly, and Mocha would get, he's a big kid too.
Here's this option.
Here's midline, and OJ, missed their quarterback assignment, but they're not. They're reading that, and the quarterback reads it and takes it and runs. So and here's the other wing tee principle type thing that they do. It's kind of like wing tee sweep there, where they fake the dive and bring at this point he was a receiver, and bring him
H-back,
around.
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
okay.
right. In a wing tee, it would be the tee back.
Okay. We don't use that terminology too much anymore.
Yeah.
All right, what are you going to see from Boardtown defensively?
Well, they started out the year almost exclusively at 52, which you hardly ever see. The 52 monster, which you never see.
No.
That's what we played in high school. But they've kind of, throughout the year, evolved a little bit. It may be because of the teams that they're playing. Earlier in the year, they're playing some teams that run a little bit more. But they've played a 4-4 and a 4-3 basically since then, and then sprinkled in some other things. But essentially, we're expecting to see an even front against them. And
Man zone, they play a little bit of both?
Mostly they're going to play zone coverage, either cover 2 or cover 3. And, they're going to try to – it was interesting what they did against OJ because there were times where they only had 5 in the box. There were times where they kept 7 against 4 wides, 5 in the box against 4 wides. And other times they had 7 in the box against 4 wides. So that basically means if you have 7 in the box against 4 wides, you're either giving up a zone or you're playing man coverage. So, we'll see.
Okay, Coach, let's take a look at Boardtown on defense.
Highlights are sponsored by Rental World of Limerick.
So right here you see against double twins look, you see 5 in the box. Both Sam and Will, and he's coming by the way. Both Sam and Will are walked away. Will's down here. And,
so here's where O&J's trying to spread you out here. They think they can run, and then Boardtown fills the gap.
They did a nice job. Here, it's kind of the same thing, 5 in the box against double twins, but you see there was a Will kind of near the box, but they forced the option pitch. O&J's reading the defensive end here, and he got there a little faster or quicker than the quarterback was expecting, and almost turned the ball over. All right, let's check this out again.
They've always had some size up front. We know that in the show here.
Here they have 6 in the box against with 2 backs, and they do a nice job of. No, I'm sorry, 1 back. There was an H back there, so there were trips, but there were 6 in the box. So, they had the guys into the boundary. Here again, 5 in the box inside the red zone.
And he gets by the defense, but then their
He
secondary
does, but
comes
they
up.
did a nice job of making the play. That safety
Fills
comes
up by the safety, yeah.
So, it's interesting. We'll see what we get. Hopefully, because we've been more balanced, that causes teams to make some decisions, and they can't just keep 7 in the box, and they can't just keep 5 in the box. They got to switch it up, and we need to be smart enough to get into the right play when the opportunity presents itself.
All right, Coach. Well, best of luck to you and the crew on Friday night up in Boardtown area.
I'm gonna go eat breakfast and take a Dayquil.
Yeah, you sound like you need a little help.
I got up at a half an hour early. Was here. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you're struggling.
My head's not on right.
You're not quite ready to go this morning.
It's not. Sorry.
All right. Well, best of luck to you and the crew.
Thank you.
All right. Make sure you tune in next week as we recap the game with Boardtown and preview homecoming week with the matchup with O&J Roberts. For the head coach Chad Brubaker, I'm John Brennan. See you next time on the Gridiron.